you can see that basically computer has two type of memory, that is primary and secondary memory. So here you can see one section is primary memory and this is secondary memory. So primary memory is volatile. That means whatever data primary memory is holding, that is on temporary basis. Whenever we switch off our computer, then whatever work we haven't saved is wiped off. That means we cannot recall that back. For example, if we are working with MS Word, we have created one table, but if we have not saved that file and we switch off our computer, and when we start our computer again, then at that time we cannot get that file back on screen. So because whatever you are working on computer, before saving that file save option you are using every time to save your work. But if you do not go into file and save operation, so whatever work you are doing, that is saved in this type of memory, that is primary memory. So there are two types of primary memory. One is RAM, that is random access memory, and second one is ROM, that is read only memory. This is primary memory but non-volatile. That means data stored in this type of memory, that is ROM, is saved for permanent basis. So this is mainly this type of memory is mainly on motherboard, read only memory. Okay, so there are sections where ROMs are there on motherboard of your computer. Then there are two types of RAMs. One is SRAM and second is DRAM. S stands for sequential and D for dynamic. So there are sequential RAM and dynamic RAM. Then ROM, we have PROM, EPROM, and EEPROM. So PROM is for like programmable read only memory. So once when we write something on it, we cannot remove that. That is saved on for permanent basis. So it is ROM is data on ROM is written by manufacturer itself. Then EPROM, that is erasable programmable read only memory. So we once it is programmed, we can erase the old data and again we can write data on it. Then next one is EEPROM, that is electronically erasable programmable read only memory. So data on this type of ROM is can be erased electronically. Then in secondary memory, first one is hard disk. So hard disk, only two words are there. So HD, we don't use HD short form, but we use HDD. HDD stands for hard disk drive. Then SSD memory is there in form of cards. Then compact disk are there, that is CD. DVD also comes in this part of secondary memory. Then floppy disk drive is there. Floppy disk nowadays is extinct. Uh, before this pen drives and CDs or DVDs were invented, people used to take this type of disk for data storage. And typically one floppy disk was able to hold 1.44 MB of data, only 1.44 MB of data. So and it was a plastic disk with magnetic coating on over it. So nowadays we can't do anything with that amount of storage, that is 1.44 MB. So now we are not using this type of memory, that is floppy disk. Then comes magnet tape. Magnet tape means it is a kind of tape where magnetic coating is there. If you have seen older video cassettes or older audio cassettes, in that you might have seen that. Now comes memory and control unit. So this section we have taken earlier. So here again we are getting an idea again, like a revision. Okay, so there is control unit, ALU, that is arithmetic logic unit, and memory, that is MU. So this is a picture of how this CPU, central processing unit chip, works. And memory interacts with input unit and output unit, because input unit passes data to this memory, that is MU, and then after processing from ALU, again memory unit passes that data to control unit, and then control unit passes that data to output unit. Okay, so let's see it again. Input unit gives input, and that input is stored in memory, and that memory passes that data to ALU for processing. Then after processing, when result is generated, it is passed to control unit, and control unit send it to output unit. Now few output units are there. So these are visual output units, that is monitor and other tablets. Then cell phone screen is also there. We can use we are doing computing with cell phone also. PDS, that is personal digital assistant, like that. Then if we are getting output in sound form, then we are using headphones, and these are speakers for sound output. Monitors are also there for output. Now again this chart, again same input given to this CPU. This is CPU unit. Okay, and then CPU unit after processing transfer the data to output unit. And now you can see this memory, main memory, secondary memory. So when input data is given to CPU, then that memory unit asks instruction to process. So memory unit gives control to control unit, and control unit and memory unit fetch data from this memory, whatever software and programs are there which are applicable to this processing. So that instructions are read from this memory, and then output is generated. Now characteristic of computer automation, that is we are doing few tasks that can be done automatically using computers. So nowadays there are driverless car concept. People are working on it, so that a car can be driven without a driver using sensors and all, and computer. Then accuracy. Whatever task we are doing on computer, we are sure to get 100% accurate output. So computer provides us accuracy. Then computer give us long-term storage. Long-term storage, for example, we are storing data on hard disk of a computer. So when we store something in hard disk, then it remains for a very long time. And you can also compare storage of a hard disk with physical storage. For example, if I am creating a document of 50 pages in Microsoft Word, and that I am going to store in computer's memory hard disk. So 50 pages are there, and still it requires only few KBs. That file will be in KBs only. But when I take print and file those 50 pages, at that time physical storage that I require is more. So if we store data up to 1 TB, that is normally nowadays hard disks come into that much storage capacity. So 1 TB data, if printed from computer, we require a large hole to store that files and other things. So computers can store data for long term and save storage also, physical storage. So nowadays filing are done electronically in banks, government, organization and industries. Then consistency. So whatever task computer is performing, it is computer is doing with same accuracy. Even if same task is being done for 10th time or 50th time or 100th time, result will be same with same accuracy. So that is consistency. Then programmability. So if we want our computer to do something new, a new task, at that time we can give a program or software, new program or software, and computer can be programmed for a new task. Now this here these topics are explained in a few points. Now comes software. The software is what a set of instruction. So depending on tasks that we are going to perform on computer, different softwares are there. Now development of program becomes easier if a step-by-step guideline to solve the given task called algorithm is designed. So what is algorithm? Before creating a program, programmer works on the logic, and that logic is converted into pages with some symbols and logic. So that is algorithm. So algorithm is not dependent on which programming language you are going to use for program development. For example, C, C++, Java, PHP. There are so many programming languages. But for a particular task, algorithm is same. When you are going to convert this algorithm into program, at that time only the code changes according to the programming language that you are using. Then comes hardware. So we all know that physical parts of computer that we can see or touch are called hardware. So it is hardware parts even if parts are inside CPU. So we cannot see that what is inside CPU, but still it is called hardware only. Now comes firmware. So firmware is a kind of software only, but this software comes from manufacturer side. So for example, microwave oven is there, digital camera is there, then washing machines are there. So we can set some timer there, some other things like uh, size of image that we want to click, or here for how much time, how much temperature we want to bake our food, that we can set, and then according to that time and temperature, we don't need to interact again with that device. So there are inbuilt instructions from manufacturer side, that is called firmware.